Play the Simulacra games. It's in those. The secret to stopping this thing. I don't know how. I don't know where it is, but it's in there. Find them. Please do whatever you can. Find the secret within the games. Ah, so this is your first case. I remember mine like it was yesterday. It wasn't nearly as crazy as this one, though. So I'm putting you on the case with our top Simulacra expert. And it's your and his job to go through every game and find out what could be the key to stopping these monsters before they take any more lives.
Hello there, rookie. Welcome to my office. I see you found your own way in. Oh, you thought you were going to be playing the games? No. We found all 5 Simulacra games on Micah's computer, and I already went through and played them, recording my experience. Description of the game. Anyway, I was just having so much fun picking who I wanted to hate, Greg, and who I wanted to be my best friend, Taylor. However, it seems that we still can't find anything in this game to stop the current Simulacra. So this game starts out with... what the... Anyway, the game starts out with a creepy Flappy Bird ripoff that everyone seems to be playing, but the trailer soon gets out of hands and starts showing creepy imagery. After that, your perception seems to be swayed like you're on LSD or something. I seem to be talking to this guy named Teddy. He says this is what happens if you fail and says that is why I am his best friend. Considering I didn't even know this guy yet and my best friend is Taylor, I say I'm flattered. He doesn't seem to take this very well, and then we go back to a few seconds ago. This time I say he is my best friend too, even though I didn't mean it, but I may be sent back in time again if I say anything else. Except I get sent back again anyway, but this time it looks like Teddy is talking to himself. I tell him how confusing this is, but he says that there isn't much time as the screen glitches out and I'm sent to talking to Teddy again, but it seems like the previous conversation never happened. It seems that Teddy is waiting on a job and texting me while waiting. It appears that he doesn't end up getting the job though, and his texts go back to the evil Teddy text from earlier. I try to reassure him that he did his best, but it doesn't seem to work as he is too mad about getting rejected from a job once again. I continue to reassure him that everything is going to be okay, and that seems to calm him down. He continues to down himself more, and I continue to try and make him feel better. He then asked me to download this game called Flappy Bird, so he can get some free eggs in the game to keep playing. I tell him that I don't know about downloading this game, especially after I just saw that creepy video a few minutes ago. He seems to think that this is going to help him get over his terrible life, and I try to reassure him that this game is not the way to do that. However, that seems to make him go into dark mode, so I decide to download the game in order to calm him down. So I download the game and I open it to see what it is all about, and it is disgusting. The game then asks if I want to see non-stop ads. I of course deny this request, and then the pop-up comes up again, except the options are switched, so I accidentally end up accepting its request to give me non-stop ads, and trust me, the ads are just the weirdest thing.
Stop what you are doing and check out this camera. Ever want to be a ninja foxer?
No.
Run on walls like a ninja.
Like a ninja?
Destroy your enemy.
I finally got to the game and I did pretty good for my first time, getting a 15 on my first go. On my second try I did even better, getting a 22. However, let me just say that these visuals are not anything pretty to look at. I end up going back to texting Teddy and tell him that I keep dying, and he says I just suck at the game.
Listen, Teddy, you want to be up there with Greg? Say that to my face again, because guess what? I made Greg a wanted felon because he had some attitude towards me. So you do not want to mess with me.
Anyway, Teddy then asks me if I want to play competitive mode of the game. He says that this mode has a leaderboard where you can compete with your friends to get the highest score. He also says that you can watch ads to get eggs and get an edge in the game. I tell him I hate watching ads, especially these ones.
Okay. Oh, it's sending me ads.
Alright, what am I doing with this? Is that a portal? Okay, I'm going to go. I like the smell of napalm in the morning.
No!
Shiver my timbers, yo!
Shiver your timbers, yo!
Serve the public trust.
Oh!
You think you got me? Yeah.
Got it.
Ninja dash!
お前はもう死んでいる。
You wanna know what time it is? It's high noon,
What the heck? Okay, we're gonna skip.
This seems to make him mad, and he wants me to watch ads. He then tells me that this is going to blow my mind, and that I should totally try to beat his high score as he sends me to the link. So I downloaded the Royale mode of the game, and after telling it that I don't engage in risky sexual behavior, it seems to immediately think that I am qualified to have the game. I guess virgins are this game's main demographic. So the game connects me to Teddy's account and tells me that his high score is 34. So I try to beat it. This game seems different because there's a woman's voice every now and then. Anyway, on my first attempt I get a 22, so not too bad if I say so myself. I asked Teddy about the weird voice and he says that it's the in-game guide, and that her voice is soothing. Okay, Teddy, you're just weird. He says that it is worth it to go for the top score, and I kind of let him know that I try not to be too competitive of a person. However, this seems to make him go full black suit Spider-Man again. Anyway, I once again have to calm him down, and then he says that I'm too chicken to beat his score. Honestly, I think this guy is acting like a jerk friend, and I don't really know why I want to continue playing this ugly game. But that is the only way to continue the story, so I guess I will continue. I eventually go back into the game and spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out how to beat his high score without using eggs. But I'm pretty sure that there is an invisible wall that stops you from getting to 35 without using eggs, because I kept getting 34 and dying. However, after so many losses, I decided to go ahead and watch some ads in order to get eggs and beat his high score. Teddy immediately starts texting me telling me that I stole from him after he gave me a gift. I just end up looking at him and saying I didn't steal anything from him. Except this top score! Booyah! You're gonna need some serious medical care for that burn. Boom! Yeah! Anyway, instead of sending the text that I was trying to send, my phone begins to mess up and go full dark mode like Teddy's phone has been doing. After trying to explain things to him to no avail, he eventually asked me if I use any of the power-ups. I of course say yes, since that's part of the game, and he accuses me of cheating. Like, dude, you invited me to the game like 20 minutes ago in order to get those power-ups. Anyway, while talking to Teddy, we get an advertisement of him sitting in his room playing the game. I eventually tell Teddy that he is overreacting, and he continues to act like a man-baby, thinking that his crappy mobile game will solve all his problems. So I once again have to calm him down so he stops acting like a child. Like, I literally have no idea why I'm friends with this guy. However, Teddy still won't listen and blocks me over a children's game. He then does come to his senses and calls me to apologize, saying that he can always get the top score again. I then go back into the Flappy Bird game to find that it wants me to give it a rating. It says that if I don't give it a rating, then it will force me to watch 5 ads uninterrupted. So I agree to do that because I absolutely hate this game. After sitting there for what felt like 20 minutes, I finally got back to the game. The game then says that it is going to update in order to give me more ads. So while I wait for the game to update, I go out of the game. Then my top spot on the leaderboard is taken by Teddy once again. I then go to talk to Teddy and tell him that I am not going to try to get the top spot again, because I really don't care. But my phone takes over again and I have to deal with him thinking that I actually want to play this game because I really don't. Then Teddy decides to make a metaphor out of urinary tract infections. And you just gotta hear how stupid this is.
I feel nothing.
Not even a shade in the super fantastic spectrum of glorious emotions. How disappointing. Do you know what it is, a UTI is? What it feels like? What is that?
Alright, what am I doing with this?
Okay.
It's not a portal. Okay, I'm going to go. I like
I feel like I got a big old freaking virus on my phone.
Urinary tract infection. It's the most painful sensation I've ever felt in my life. It feels like there are tiny needles poking your insides, and when you pee, oh, it hurts real bad. It kind of trickles and drips down. That's how I feel right now about everyone.
That is some metaphor. Micah, we're having a moment here. After this, I try to continue to calm him down, and at this point, I have lost all respect for this dude and don't know why I'm even trying to talk to him at all. I tell him that these games he's playing are just escapism, but I do think that I am kind of a hypocrite considering I spent 16 hours playing these games. I then look at him and say that I am not going to play the game again, and he says that I have to because it is no fun to be at the top without a fight. Then he tells me to beat his score. So I go in and decide to invite a bunch of people to the game because honestly, I don't want to sit through these ads anymore. That seems to peeve everyone off who I send it to except for Aunt Karen, who seems to have already played the game. However, even though I got a lot of eggs, it ended up not being enough to beat his high score. After that, I end up going to talk to the people I sent the game to. Teddy's ex seems to know what the game is doing to him and asked me to stop. However, while talking to her, we get another Teddy ad, and I can safely say that this is the coolest that Teddy has been throughout the entire game. Okay, man. After this, his ex blocks me, which I don't know why I had her number to begin with. I go back into the game and decide to buy eggs because I don't care. I just want to continue the story. After doing that, I end up getting the high score once again. Teddy then begins to text me and acts like a regular human being, saying that he doesn't have much time and asks me if I got his videos. However, whenever I try to respond, my responses are chosen for me. He seems to know what this is and says that this is how it starts. He says that he has been recording himself because he has been forgetting things. He says that it started with the game and he doesn't even want to play it. He asks me why I keep playing it, and I say that he keeps challenging me. He then freaks and says, heck no he isn't. He says that whatever I've been talking to, it is not him, because he doesn't remember. We are then back to where we are at the beginning of the game with him sending me the video. I do the same thing I did at the beginning of the game and say that he is my best friend. However, after that, the other version of him seems to take over. He seems to start to get into an argument with the other half, and I tell him to just stop playing the game, and he says that he is trying to. After one jump scare later, it seems that the other half has fully taken over. He asks me what my purpose in life is, and I tell him that it is to find myself. He asks if I have reached this goal, and I tell him that it is a work in progress, like most things in life. He says, aren't you tired of being in the waiting line, as I lose my #1 spot again? I try to respond to his claims, however now my symbiote suit has taken over my phone and I am no longer the one talking. They then say that maybe it is time to get rid of old Teddy as I get blocked from his number. So I do the only thing that has worked to progress the story so far and go back into Flappy Bird. It really wants me to put in a rating for the game, and when I deny it multiple times, they decide to take my eggs away and download new content to probably give me longer ads. Teddy then adds me to a group. In the group, it seems that evil Teddy is talking to good Teddy. The monster seems to try to put Teddy down by saying he is an utter failure. However, I try to make him feel better about the situation that he is in. However, I don't get the answer in time and lose my chance to make him feel better. Anyway, next he tries to put Teddy down for losing his girlfriend. This time I say that relationships can be hard. After that, we continue to fight the monster while he tries to pull Teddy down, and then we kick the monster out of the group. One jump scare later, and it seems like we stopped the monster. Teddy thanks me, and I tell him anytime. However, then he asks me if I used any hours in order to buy eggs, and he starts freaking out. He then says that he is sure that it is fine, and says that he is going to take a nap. I ask him if he is okay, and then he goes back into dark mode. The monster is really mad at me for interfering with this whole ordeal, and says that he is bringing out his final form. I get he is trying to make some kind of video game reference, But that just comes off as absolutely ridiculous in this situation. He then sends me a link to a new Flappy Bird. I click on the link and find the cursed version of the game. I try a couple times and then the game offers me an offer for infinite eggs. However, the price would be my soul. So in order to save my best friend and not have to spend 30 minutes watching these fake ads, I decide to take the offer. I am then easily able to win with my infinite eggs to beat her at her game. So the voice says that she seems to have caught an even bigger fish by getting me. Honestly, I am flattered that you would consider me the bigger fish. I mean, even my mother doesn't give me compliments like that. I then get an ad of Teddy waking up feeling horrible for losing his best friend to this spirit, knowing that I will never escape.
You okay, babe?
No. It wants me. It was supposed to be me. It wanted me.
I sacrifice myself.
Please. I know how it feels. Trapped in this thing. You can't get out. You'll never get out. Not now, not ever.
You know, I'm satisfied with that.
I then have one last conversation with my best friend as I am taken away by the Simulacra. Okay, let's get this out of the way real quick. This game sucks. The only good part that it keeps from the original Simulacra game is the fact that you can text people and connect with the characters, and they mess that up hard. The biggest problem is how much of a jerk they made your supposedly best friend. Yes, that was the Simulacra making him that way, and by the end of the game, I did end up liking the regular version of Teddy, but throughout the entire game, he just comes off as a big crybaby that doesn't want to deal with his problems. I feel like we should have been able to see a nicer version of Teddy at the beginning of the game before he became the Simulacra. Other than that, they should have made the Simulacra version of him more menacing rather than a crybaby. Like, when Teddy was fighting off the Simulacra, it came off as menacing, but whenever it was impersonating Teddy, it came off as a big man baby. I don't know, that was one of my biggest turnoffs of this game. One of my other big turnoffs to this game was the game within the game. Yes, I get they were trying to make fun of Flappy Bird, but when your horror game's main focus is based on a game where you play as a peeing bird, then it is no longer scary. I swear, I thought this game was some kind of April Fool's joke, but I can't find anything on that. Also, the fact that this game is the only way to progress the story really bugged me. Let's look at Simulacra for a second. The puzzles in that game were clever and fun to figure out. In this game, you spend 20 minutes watching these fake ads in order to beat your friend's high score and have him act like a crybaby for another 20 minutes just to go back to have to watch the fake ads in order to beat his high score again. Speaking of the fake ads, they are by far the most entertaining part of this game. The first few times you watch them. When there are only like 5 of these ads in the game, you end up watching through them really fast, and because of that, they get really annoying really quick. Especially when you need to watch them in order to continue the game. I get it, they are supposed to be satire, and the fact that they are annoying is a part of the game. However, when playing a game, the player should not be annoyed. Otherwise, the game is not fun. Just the same way the game should not be too hard, but reward hard work, which is exactly why I like the puzzles in the original Simulacra. Speaking of which, everything in the Simulacra game had a purpose. Well, in this game, the only thing you really need to use is the Flappy Bird game and Teddy's messages. And that is it. The game feels incomplete. This game was clearly a critical failure, with a lot of the Let's Players being very disappointed with the experience they had with this game. Like I said, this game sucks. I mean, Even the little poster for it makes the main player look like he was about to take a dookie on the ground. However, everyone let this game slide because clearly they were just making a filler game in order to give more time to Simulacra 2 and make it even more spectacular, which it looks like we're going to have to check out now since the game doesn't offer any clues either. I honestly didn't expect any clues in this garbage game anyway.
All you do is hate. All you do is hate. I see you.